So Lucid is green again today after a good couple of days of double-digit growth. So Lucid is up over about 25 to 30% over the last few days. And does this mean investors are now flocking back to the EV startup? Let's take a look at the charts. And then let's try to determine what's going on here with Lucid. So we can see, let's take a recap. So the SPAC got listed. We saw CCIV back here, and it was listed at 10 for a long time. Investors started to find out that there were rumors of CCIV acquiring Lucid, and the share price started to ramp up. And this was the most popular SPAC at the time, guys. This was the one everybody was talking about. They were so pumped that CCIV were acquiring Lucid, and the momentum and the FOMO drove this all the way to 60. And a lot of people got caught up in this. Then the announcement for the merger happened with a completely different valuation. It's quite complicated to go through right now, but it had a different valuation, and then the share price tanked from a high of 65 down to a low here of 20. So a lot of people got burnt in this process. And then ever since, CCIB's been, or Lucid now, has been channeling across, up and down, really, not really going above kind of 28 and not going below here at about 90. Well, it got lowest here was about 17. And it just kind of went sideways without any movement. Now, what didn't help this situation was that Peter Rawlinson, the CEO, said that there was going to be a delay to the Lucid Air, right? He said he wants to take his time and that he didn't want to rush it, and he's going to take his time and wait until 2021. So now we're coming towards the end of 2021. We wanted to see if the Lucid Air would actually come because, you know, the idea is great and we've seen prototypes and we've seen images of the Lucid and we've heard Peter Rawlinson talk about it. But like Elon Musk said, the fun starts when you get into production, right? And that's the hardest thing Elon Musk has said he's ever had to do. And that's what the market needs to see if Lucid is capable of doing it. They've got plenty of cash on their balance sheet. They got investment from the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia. They've got a nice factory. They've got plans to open others. But we need to see production, right? We need to see production. We need to see a production vehicle so we can test it, get it into the hands of reviewers, influencers. Let's see it on social media, on YouTube. Let's see it on the news. Let's see it out and about with people driving the first models, and let's see how the marketing spreads. Now, what also happened was at the end of August, remember, CCIV had a lockup, well, Lucid had a lockup period which expired on September the 1st. Okay, so in August, you had a bunch of people selling the stock, which led, if you see here in August, we're kind of down, all the way down here. And that takes you to the 1st of September here, which is exactly when it bounces. Okay, so if we just zoom in there, you can see exactly all this sell-off in September, drops all the way down to a low of 16. And then we saw, and this was people selling the news, right? So this was people expecting the lockup to expire and they thought insiders would sell, okay? And so that's why investors were selling. But what actually transpired was sellers didn't sell. The insiders didn't sell en masse, and therefore the share price recovered and we got back to normal sensible levels quite quickly, thankfully, over the next day or two. But now, since then, we've had some really positive news of the EPA rating coming out for the Dream Edition R. And it had a 520-mile range, which eclipses Tesla model, right? It's which exceeds the Tesla model and is a really big feather in the cap for Lucid. And this is what has got people excited. Okay, so this has got the markets excited because this is now going to be a really important marketing message which Lucid can propagate. Okay, so they've gone now just from an idea. I remember when we were reading their investment memorandum and they said they were going to achieve this range and they said they was going to achieve this top speed. Now they've got the stats to back it up. Now they can go market, they can get demand for the product, they can produce the first few cars, and that will really help them in their early adoption of this vehicle. So it's got a lot of investors thinking now is a good time to enter in the stock. They don't want to miss the moves because they know the EV space is hot. Rivian IPO coming up, various other, you got NIO in China, you got XPeng, you got Li Auto. It's a hot space. And when the market turns back to a positive environment, we know these kind of stocks are going to move quickly, right? Because they're in high demand. And especially if Lucid could get a car or two, or hopefully more out by the end of the year, this stock can definitely move, in my opinion. That's why I've got a decent sized position in Lucid. Because I think, you know, I love Tesla. My position in Tesla is much bigger than Lucid. But, just like how when you hear me talk about crypto, I don't think Ethereum is the be-all, end-all, even though I love Ethereum. There's always going to be others, right? I don't know why people have this maximalist approach that it's just Tesla and nothing else. I seriously believe Tesla is the Ethereum equivalent, right? They're far ahead. They've done it, been there, done it, nothing to prove. It's a massive company. They're done. but you're not going to get the same explosive growth that you're going to get from a Lucid, right? If they can hit this and get this right and be the next Tesla, that's where you're going to experience growth. But you should allocate a portion of your portfolio that you're willing to lose, right? It's not as safe a bet as Tesla. It's not as a safe as bet as Amazon or Apple. It's a risk. And you should take, we're here in investment to take smart, educated risks based on research we've done. And I think the positioning of Lucid is fantastic. And just from not a technical analysis point of view, obviously the fundamentals and the earnings will read as and when they start producing earnings. But just from a branding point of view and a customer experience point of view, I can see the positioning of Lucid. And I think anybody who's got experience kind of starting businesses and incubating them, you understand that there's something intangible about a good business idea with smart positioning. And I think that's what Lucid has got well. They've done that better than Fisco, in my opinion. They've done that better than a few of the other US EV players. And you can see they've got this image of luxury. They've really positioned the brand well, that you can see how it differentiates from Tesla. And I know a lot of people who would love to buy Tesla if it had some more of the luxury features. And I think that's where Lucid has done their research and positioned themselves really well. And I think they've definitely got an audience to go at, which is different from the Tesla audience. Because you can see Tesla trying to get out a 25K vehicle soon, and Lucid is going completely the opposite end. And there's a market for both, right? People right now are buying Mercedes S-Classes, they're buying Maybachs, they're buying E63s, right? These kind of people are buying luxury saloons. They're spending 100, 150, 200K. And that's where these Lucid models, the Dream Edition Rs, that's where these lot operate. And I think that's, no different to Tesla. You have to get out the expensive cars first, build a cash base, build a really big business, and then you can get mass market further down the line. So it's a clever model, a lot to prove yet with Lucid, so nothing I'm jumping about too soon, but it's good to, when you've been at lows of 16, for it to be back up at 26, it's good validation. But you best believe if they don't start launching cars, it'll go back to 16, right? So they've really got to pull their sleeves up, get cars out, no more excuses, do it well, get it into the hands of influencers, let people review them, let people drive them, let the hype start coming out about the speed of it and the range of it, let people enjoy it and enjoy the luxury quirks of it and the color options they can pick. And then that marketing should spiral into business interest and then investor momentum as well. Anyway, guys, that's an update on Lucid, the upstart EV company, which at one point had a crazy valuation when it was sitting at $65. It's now sitting at $26.53, and hopefully there'll be a lot of upside right now. What's really surprising is this is moving with the backdrop of a crazy market. We've got the FOMC minutes coming from Jerome Powell shortly. We know the Evergrande crisis is going on, but this SPAC is still wanting to run, which really shows that investors have decided that now is a good time and they don't want to miss a move. So good news for Lucid. Comment below if you're invested in Lucid. I'd love to hear if you have a position in Lucid or any other EV company. That would be great. If you like videos like this, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. And as always, I will see you in the next one.